Oh, Jesus Christ, I have no idea how to begin. I've got a lot to say. I uploaded us 31st, that's quite a while back. It's the 14th now. 7 in the morning, nearly 8 in the morning, technically. Well, if you saw this update, my anxiety was acting up. It was real bad. It got the better of me. And this is an update of sorts with actual commentary this time. Because, oh my god, it just feels so weird. It's like, here's an example, right? This right here was the last actual recording I've actually done commentary for. It may have been uploaded on the 29th, but actually I think I might record it the same day there. But this is on my VN channel, by the way. But it's just so weird to be back to recording, because it's just after all, just like I've been through over the past 3 weeks. It's like I took the break because my anxiety was acting up. Backstory: around about the week that I uploaded this, I was like, my anxiety was slowly building up over the days, like ever slowly but increasing in its attack, essentially. Essentially, the main cause, and this has just been bugging me the longest time, to just get this update over with, and it really just kind of pains me to say, but the main reason for the anxiety initially was because a subscriber had offered me one of their old capture cards, offered to send that, and I was like reluctant, but I was like, okay, why not? And so talked on via Steam, and two things while talking to this person, just like very better with technology than me. Just like, this capture card was gonna be sent, uses HDMI, which I'm not really overly familiar with. I tend to use AV cables because I've pretty much grown up with shit like that. Because back in my day, we didn't have no fancy HDMI, and I don't think PS2 or GameCube have no fancy HDMI. So you have to set in some other stuff as well, such as like an AV to HDMI converter and stuff like that. It's just like all of the just stuff he sent me just kind of just drove my anxiety over the edge and overwhelmed me. I wasn't expecting it to be like that, but it did. It was like my brain had literally fried. There were so many emotions going on. It was just crazy. I felt like I was losing my mind. Combine that with the fact that, as I've said in a number of videos, I have social anxiety. So, I'm not very good at talking to people, and the less I know a person, the more the anxiety, is there. And the trouble with, talking via text and all that online as well, there's that kind of, you can't really tell what the other person's thinking, what their tone is, if they're busy, stuff like that. So it just like furthered my anxiety. So it's a combination of those two that really drove me over the edge, and that's what led to me taking this break. I even had to have a prescription from a doctor because my anxiety was getting really, really bad at that point. But it was the calm before the storm, man, because freaking Saturday was when it all went to shit. Because, wow, when I uploaded this, just like around about the time I was uploading this, my anxiety was getting better of me so much that my eyes were also getting teary-eyed, so my depression was also on the horizon. It was not good for me. It was really, I just felt awful. And the worst thing is, because like I accepted all this stuff, right, got all this stuff, and I just like, felt like I wasn't being appreciative, It's like, not just being like, thanks, this is gonna really help me out, kind of thing, I was just like, so preoccupied with my thoughts going haywire. So because I felt bad about that, depression slowly seeps in. So anyways, when I took the break, I was like, okay, I'm quitting this shit cold turkey. for now until I can finally calm the fuck down with this anxiety. So, I tried playing some Skyrim on my PS3. Oh wait, before I begin, there's one thing I really want to get out of the way as well. From my experience with that, I will say this. If there's like anything any viewers ever like offer to send me or anything like that, just like if you hear me in my videos like being like, I could use this or that, you know, this has been acting up, blah, and you offer to be like, I can send you something to help with that, I will have to politely decline, because it just really fucks with my anxiety. I appreciate stuff like that, but yeah, I'm not really the kind of guy. Gifts feel really awkward to me. It's like, even if I get gifts off family, for example, which is why I find my birthday and Christmas and all that to be a bit awkward. Even then, like, I can feel a bit awkward with it, but, you know, getting something from a subscriber just feels even more overwhelming. Just, I don't really know how to describe it. It's just, if you suffer from with quite a lot of anxiety, you might maybe understand, I don't know. But yeah, if any of you is offered to send me anything, politely will have to decline on that. But anyways, where was I? Oh yeah. So, because like I was gonna move on to the PS3 thing, because my PS3 has been acting up for ages, as I've mentioned a number of times in my videos, which is why I brought that up as well. Just like, if any of you viewers were like, oh, I could send you my old PS3 or get you a old PS3, it's like, no. I will either eventually get my PS3 looked at or just buy myself a second-hand one. They don't really seem that expensive nowadays. But it's just because it's hard to get it to switch on. The power button, it just goes beep, 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 beep. Just switches off. It takes ages to get it to work. So, yeah. So, that made it a pain in the ass, because I had the stress of my anxiety as well, just acting up the whole time. It was not pleasant. I just wanted to relax. I wanted to take my mind away from the internet and just relax. And I couldn't even find my main control pad as well. My dad helped me look for the controller, but to no avail. Couldn't find it. So I had to use a secondary controller, which, you know, is attached to a lead, and the controller felt a bit awkward because I'm used to the other one, you know. But I played Skyrim for a bit, and heck, I even noticed a change in my playstyle. Because when I play Skyrim, if I defeat a Draugr or wherever the pronounced as, I usually loot the shit out of them. I don't loot their weapons or anything, and as my character, I don't loot bone meal from them for whatever reason. Just those two things would be the things that I just like, nah. Loot the arrows, the money, and maybe if they got a crown or a special weapon, maybe, you know, stuff like that. But I was deliberately avoiding doing that. It was like my mind, because of that feeling of guilt, just like, I don't deserve stuff kind of thing, you know? It's like, I don't want to take this from you. It applied to freaking playing a game now. It was it's just hard. I just don't know how to describe it. It's just weird. So I played that for a bit, and helped me take my mind off things slightly, but it was still, you know, anxiety was still there. The next day, I've got one of those Amazon Fire Sticks, right? But the thing is, the internet connection is shit in my room. I remember talking to the subscriber that sent me the capture card, and talked about that, and kind of theorized maybe it's my laptop that's like the hardware shit. And I don't think that is what it is. I think it's just the router itself. Probably gonna have to phone them up about that, because seriously, my room just seems to be a dead zone for internet. Because the Fire Stick was not cooperating at all in my room. It works in all the other rooms of the house, just not my room. But anyway, setting that up was a pain in the ass as well, because my brother currently had the stick itself, and he had to reset it, right? Luckily, family helped out with that. My sister was also over. She figured it out. She also figured out how to turn my TV on and switch it to the HDMI channel. So that's my only real experience with HDMI, is that thing, I guess. So I managed to switch to that channel without the remote because, whoa, guess what? My remote was missing as well. And whoa, guess what? Freaking days later, I found both of them. Typical, of course. But anyways, that was a pain in the ass to set up. And I couldn't really watch anything on it. So it's like, fuck it, I've got a DVD player. I'll watch a DVD. So I watched DVD. And as I'm watching it, I noticed the sound quality just dropping to, like, from... I'm speaking... And I was like, why is it doing that? I walked up to my TV, moved the lead, and it started to work again. And I realized some of the leads had come loose. So with the aid of my dad, I took the TV off the wall, and we put the leads back in. And while I was at it, I plugged in the capture card that was sent. And foolishly, rather than, you know, keep my mind off these things, I decided I was just going to test it. Just a little test. I was going to test it. So I got my laptop out foolishly once again. And just powered it on. And also generous to me. My laptop wasn't at the edge of the bed, but I was still anxious and very much on edge during this. So I just wanted to see if the capture card worked. So I set all that up, got the software up, and right away noticed something. One, I don't think I saw the blur that I usually see when using my main capture card, but the other things I saw were not so good. The video quality looked kinda darker, quite darker than my regular capture card. And not only that, but there was a delay between my input with the control pad and the actual footage itself. Now, I don't know if it's actually looked the way it did on my TV or not, because I couldn't change the channel. I'm assuming it didn't, and it was just the software. So I messed around with the settings, because like I was warned that it would have like this potential for it to have this strong delay. But no matter what I did, I could not solve these problems. It continued to have like I'd move Titus to the right. I just press right on the D-pad or the analog stick, whatever, and it would take like a second or maybe even a second and a half for it to register it on the capture card that he's moving to the right. So I felt it was even more problematic than my main capture card. And because after all that, I just felt kind of distraught, which kind of leads into how this went afterwards. So anyways, frustrated and at a loss, I unplugged everything, and foolishly this USB port thing that you like charge USBs on because they needed to be powered on, it had a plug that you could attach to it, and for whatever reason I tried to take that plug off. I mean, you could put it insert, and so I'd assumed also, you know, take out the plug. So I was like really getting really frustrated, and I pulled the shit out of it and it broke. It wasn't like the capture card or anything, nothing like that was broken. It was just the plug itself was broken. But that was enough. That was enough to push me over the edge, and I just broke down. Left my room and just collapsed. And I broke down mentally. I cried for what felt like an hour. It was just, I couldn't understand how. It's just hard to explain that kind of situation. If you've ever had a mental breakdown, suffer with anxiety and depression, you probably can understand how that feels. It was absolutely horrible. Family helped calm me down, and I ended up like further distancing myself from the laptop. I distanced myself from my room as well, so I went to the living room, slept in the living room, and I don't know if I really had much sleep, but it's Fire Stick down there for the Amazon Fire Stick, so I just could watch Netflix and shit like that, in the living room. So that was one positive thing. So I watched Shrek of all things, and that kind of calmed me down. and I don't know if I really got much sleep, but next day was kind of a slow day. It was possibly the longest freaking day in the whole thing to me, to be honest. I spent a lot of the day just watching episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 on Netflix, old episodes and one of the newer ones. And eventually my anxiety was starting to return. It's like I say in this video right here, I had trouble eating, but by that point I was finally starting to, get my appetite back a bit, But towards the end of the day, maybe the evening, the night, I can't remember which, I made the foolish decision to go back upstairs to my room, to my laptop. But not for anything, like, oh no, not the capture card, no, nothing like that, no, nothing I'll, completely fuck my mind. No, all I wanted to do was update my diary, because I've got, this diary thing that I use to keep track of, when I've done stuff like changing the birds, food and water, taking meds for my anxiety, depression, shit like that. And so I just wanted to do that. It's all I planned on doing. And I couldn't power on my laptop, and I fucking started to break down again. Because I haven't mentioned this yet, but some point in that week as well, my laptop had fallen off my bed. I didn't think anything of it at the time. I picked it back up, noticed a crack on the bottom, on the protective case inside, right by the power button. I didn't really think too much of it at the time, because my anxiety was kind of building up and kind of going elsewhere, But this was coming into play, because the power button had become hard to actually press down on because of the crack, It wasn't really a crack necessarily. I don't know how to describe it. It was just it was loose, essentially. So on that day when I went upstairs to, just update that, I couldn't power on unless I held my laptop monitor about quarter or halfway forward, because it was stuck. It would not press down unless it was in a specific position. And I just broke down, because it was now everything really has just gone nosedived. I broke down again, cried again, and the anxiety, depression, it didn't leave me quite as smoothly that time. I felt like shit. And for the next few days, I continued to have those little mini breakdowns where I'd get teary-eyed and just start crying and just thinking to myself, why is this happening? Why am I reacting this way? When will it end? Will it ever end? It's the most horrible experience I've had in years. It was fucking horrible. So, after that, I just, well, I can't even remember what I immediately did after that, because I just broke down, really. It's I broke down the previous day, but breaking down 2 days in a row was really bad for me. So, the past few days after that, it's just, in between, the anxiety and depression keep striking me, essentially. I'd, try to distract myself. I didn't really use, iTunes, not iTunes, Netflix and all that, because I just felt it wasn't really doing it for me as a distraction. I just felt completely alone. It's I met up with the doctor again, and he upped my meds to help me get through the week. And they didn't kick in for quite a while. But yeah, I was in a really bad place at that point. It was very unpleasant. And I just I feel like what I said to the doctor pretty much sums up how I felt. I felt like a lost child. It's just I felt alone. So I just would spend time, with family. I'd watch TV with my mother throughout the day. And eventually started using their laptop as well. And that's also another reason why I think it's the internet, our internet provider, that's shit. Because I've used the laptop in my room, and it's pretty much the same, essentially. So I started using that, but I wasn't really wasn't signing into anything. I was just occasionally watch YouTube videos and just update my diary, shit like that, and just watch TV with my mother. Just calm me down a bit, just watching random programs. And after that, when everyone else is asleep, I'd go back downstairs, living room, and just play on the PlayStation in there and try to distract myself. And after a few days, it finally started to settle down, and I feel like I finally kind of recovered from it. It was horrible, and I honestly didn't feel it would ever end, but I guess it kind of did. But at the same time, oh yeah, one other thing I should mention, and that is like, I think it was on the Tuesday, I think, was when I was like, because my laptop is just like, it's precious to me. I was actually going through some of my older videos, it was randomly, before recording this, and I noticed like an update video I did way back in 2013, just like, oh, I got a new laptop, and just looking at it, it was like, I think that might actually be this very laptop. That's how old it is. It's just like I've got an attachment to it, you know. After it's like, compared to old laptops I had in the past, nothing compares to this one. I've had this one so long. It's the same with the capture card. I've grown an attachment, you know. Which is why when I do come back to recording, I think I'm sticking with my main capture card for now. I will probably start using the capture card that was sent to me at some point, but right now I'm sticking with what I know. That was like the only positive thing I remember saying when I had the first breakdown was, I just want things to go back to normal, and if that means going back to what I know, and so be it. Just put everything aside and just focus on what I know and focus forward, essentially. That's pretty much how it was. And anyways, so on the back to the Tuesday, I'd got my laptop sent to be fixed. Took a while for them to fix it. Wouldn't even look at it really. Cost me a little bit, but finally got it back, and well, it's fixed. It's still an old aged ass laptop at the end of the day, and I dread the inevitability when I have to switch to a different laptop, because, you know, it's been so many years and I've got like my software and all that saved on this. It's like, oh, you can transfer some things, but some things you're just gonna have to buy again, because like, it's just, you can't really transfer all that. I can transfer my videos, I do that, but can't really do that with most software really. And that's just, I just really don't know how to describe it. I kind of like, it's like I always like poke fun of in my mind, just like, oh, those people that are always glued to their freaking iPads and their iPhones. But I'm more or less the same. It's just with a laptop. It's just like, it's just it's hard to describe, but maybe some of you viewers understand. Also, that reminds me, it's like the weird surreal feeling when I got this laptop back is that when I finally looked at everything again, looked at YouTube and all that, and seeing that literally time had stood still the whole time, because I remember seeing the comments on this, and there's been nothing since. No comments on any of my other videos since then. It's just weird to just come back and there's no change. It's weird. What else to say? There was a lot on my mind. It literally keeps me up at night just thinking about how I was gonna go about doing this video. Because like, at the end of the day, the one thing I also want to mention is that this update video doesn't mean just like, okay, now I'm feeling 100% better, getting back to uploading. No, I haven't even freaking done any recording since this video over here on my VN channel. And even on that video, if you actually saw it, maybe you could like see, well, rather hear the anxiety in my voice at times. That and the fact that I pretty much stated in that video that I was going to be taking a break anyway. Just, it's been so long, it just feels weird. So like, I'm not returning immediately, effectively, or anything like that, because I haven't done any recording. The only recording I've got in advance is for the Spyro 2 LP. And Final Fantasy over here can go fuck itself for right now. It's tainted by the fact that I used it to test the caps card and it didn't work out well for me. So that led to a breakdown. So that's tainted in that. And it's also tainted in the fact that one of the other things that's been stressing me is fucking penance. I don't know how the hell I'm going to feed him, so I'm putting that LP on hold until I've completed it. Like the whole rest of the LP. There's not much left to do in that game, really. Just like defeat penance and all that shit and defeat the final boss. That's all there really is left. And maybe like one other thing that's been stressing me out is the thought of like doing like a kind of what's the word I'm looking for, a recap kind of episode to like be like, okay, here's how the plot developed so that the final boss doesn't feel too out of nowhere because of all the freaking shit focused on. Just shit like that. Just like, if you remember when I made a trailer saying that stating that I was going to LP Hatsune Miku Project Diva F2nd, for example, I remember stressing the fuck out and cancelling that because I was putting pressure on myself. I was like, no, if you do that, you're going to make one of those random clips for the beginning and end of each part. And it's kind of hard to explain something like that, but it legitimately fucking stressed me out, so I cancelled that. I remember that. Similar situation with this. Not cancelling it or anything, but putting it on an indefinite hold until I, completed it all. And I haven't done any recording for Wind Waker either, so I just want to get a lot of recording, at least a decent amount of recording done in advance. And they're almost halfway through September at this point, and I think to the October LPs. And I've decided on them since the start of the year, and it's just been a disaster with this whole anxiety thing. It's really thrown me off, because every year it's always the same. October stresses me out because of those LPs. So I'm not really 100% sure what I'm going to do for that either. It's like I've got 3 LPs in mind. 2 of them should be easy enough to record for and not ridiculously lengthy. But the other one, I'll just say what the other one is, because it's going to be a pain in the ass to record for. It's Resident Evil 2, the PS1 version. I'm not sure if the newer remake version's out yet, but I'm not playing that version. I'm playing the original. Hopefully, anyway. That is assuming I actually get onto it. It's just stress, man. Just stress. Just the thought of it, because by this point, usually during a year, I would have recorded a shit ton of parts already, but I've recorded nothing because of this whole anxiety kicking off, my laptop needing to be repaired, all kinds of things. And it's just like, I just think it's like, why not just use a new laptop and all that kind of thing, just like goes into my mind and all that. I'm just like, it's just too much change. I don't react well to change. It's just like, just too much to take in, just overwhelmed essentially. That's just generally how I've been feeling. Just overwhelmed. And even when I got my laptop back, it was like, I was feeling better over the days, but once I got my laptop back, I felt a bit melancholic. I honestly felt a bit melancholic over the past few days. It's like, it kind of heightens your senses in a way anxiety does, because just been thinking, time, the passage of time. Just like, I've been doing these videos for so many years, and probably every year I've had the thought, when will I retire from doing these videos? And I don't think it'll be this year, and I don't think it'll be next year, but I don't know beyond that point at the moment in time. Because honestly, when my freaking anxiety and depression made me break down 2 days in a row, I felt like just saying, fuck everything, I quit. Of course, that isn't the case, though. But, man, that was really horrible experience. You know, how long has this video been going on here? Fucking 30 minutes. I knew this video was going to be long, but Jesus Christ. I was originally going to have some, maybe some music in the background. Maybe I'll add it and post-edit, but I was going to use Media Play to just play some stuff. Actually, a moment, I'm going to set that up. I want to show you something. This, my New Year videos. This one's the more recent one. The reason why I'm bringing this up is, well, I was originally going to have this just play in the background so we can have music while rambling, but I felt like I would just get distracted, so I just get the main shit out of the way, you know? So, yeah. Horrible experience. And, yeah. I just want to get things back to normal, back to the way they usually are, but it'll take a bit more time. I need to, at the very least, get recording in advance, you know? But anyways, I've been looking at, like, my videos, and just look at that. Look at the quality. This is Parasite Eve 2. Look at that quality. Look at it. It's just like, I mean, this video went through a shit ton of editing, and it had multiple saved files, so that might also amplify the quality. So what we're gonna do is, where is it? Towards the end. I might as well just have it here. I kind of like this little kind of cover of the Zelda music that I did. But look at Wind Waker. This was recorded with my main capture card, and it doesn't really look that bad quality-wise, if you ask me. The blur doesn't stand out. The art style really kind of helps hide it. While other games like Spyro 2, not so much, you know, it's very obvious. But that's not the only thing I've noticed. I'll get to it as this thing progresses. You'll probably see it. Because, like, I'm not a very tech-heavy kind of guy, you know. It's kind of obvious, really, isn't it? So, like, when it comes to frames per second, right, I'm just like, this capture card I was sent can go up to 60 frames per second, which is more than my current capture card can do. And I wonder, just like, how do you know how it affects it exactly? Because it always just kind of looked okay to me. The only thing that really bugged me was the blur. But I have kind of noticed what I assume must be the effect of the frames per second. It's like some animations kind of don't look so slick. I mean, it's like, I like this bit right here. About to go into the ocean sailing theme, right there. Nice. I can see the blur there, you know. It stands out more in some games. I've noticed it's mostly PlayStation. It never seems to have quite as big an impact on the GameCube games. Maybe it's the style, I don't know. But on PlayStation games, it tends to stick out a bit more. Like this part of the video, by the way, was like towards the end of the editing process for this video. So the quality doesn't look as, you know, bad. It's like if you had like a JPEG and you just keep adding to it and saving the same thing over and over again, it's gonna look like shit. But it's not the case here because this was added on right at the end of it, so it's, you know, a bit better quality wise. This is closer to how the parts I uploaded look. I assume anyway. I've checked on YouTube as well. I've noticed it can go up to 700 or something in HD on my videos, while on my VN channel it goes up to 400 something. So they do have like there's some quality at least. It's like during the break I watched some like speedruns of games like Time Splitters 2 and Future Perfect, and the video quality looked like ass. And I checked, and it was like 100 something. It was like, my god, that looked terrible. Black lines and everything. It just looked shit. It made my videos look like masterpieces in comparison. I mean, they were kicking ass at the game, but the video quality was ass. Anyways, there'll be a bit of spoilers for games in this, by the way. But, you know, it kind of like fits with the lyrics. That's kind of what was going with this song. I love the verse theme I did. I think it was the first thing I came up with for the song. Anyway, I'm supposed to be talking about this. We're talking about video quality here. It's like, look at that, it doesn't look too bad to me. Heck, even the Sims busting out doesn't look too bad right there. But it can look pretty bad at times. You know? The quality kind of varies. I've even noticed that when I used to use DVD recorder, the quality was kind of similar-ish, you know? Which I found a bit odd. I'm trying to wait for like a point that I can pinpoint where I assume must be like affected by the limited frames per second of my capture card, because I notice a certain kind of look to the video when it does. Like Resident Evil, you can see it could look much better if I used a better capture card, you know. It's just like the further into, you know, generations of consoles I go, the more I need to up the quality, obviously, for it to not look shit. But still, hey, look at that! It's always like has that kind of blur around things, and that's with Camtasia. This is with capture card right here. It doesn't look bad, if you ask me. It's not perfect, but I don't think it looks so bad. It's passable. I mean, I do this as a hobby, so it's not like professional, you know. So I don't like go out of my way to like get the most expensive equipment or anything like that. Look at that! Look at the backgrounds. I hate when that happens in recording, you know. But it's not what I think has to do with frames per second, or maybe it does. Maybe it's like the more shit is happening on screen, the harder it is for my capture card to, you know, process it all and be like, oh yeah, that'll look just fine. I don't think there's anything that actually happens in here that could give it a... maybe it's no. I don't think there's an issue frame per second wise there. It's like I said, I don't think it really affects my GameCube Let's Plays that much. I've definitely seen it affect Wind Waker with frames per second though. Just don't really see it here though. It's like, look, the clouds, the water, everything just kind of looks alright. The art style kind of hides a bit of the limitations. Resident Evil looks okay there, but yeah, it definitely could have higher quality. This is this weird part of the song here, man. I went full on modal there. Remains the same, bosses still suck. Yes, they do, Miku. They do indeed still suck. Oh, wait. Go back. How many minutes? How many seconds? Look at that shit, look at it. It's all blurry and shit. I don't like when it does that. That's the main thing that bugs me. It's not really frames per second that bugs me. Or maybe that is due to the frames per second. It's just... It's just one of those things. I just like don't like when the quality just looks meh. I mean, probably to most people it does look meh nowadays with, you know, much higher quality stuff, you know, but yeah. I stick with what I know, you know. A key change. I went through a lot of key changes in this song, I gotta say. It's like 5 minutes long. It's the longest song I think I've ever wrote. Yeah, let's go back further. Nope, that's the Igarashi section. Resident Evil section probably would have some... Yeah, probably have some... Yeah, look at that! Look at the state of Barry! It's like, god damn, look at that. Is that data frames per second? Because stuff like that bugs me more than anything else. There's like something else I noticed. I forget what game it was on, though. Think. Also liked, I like playing off that track there, you know. Just added a loop on my effects pedal. I think it's Dorian modes, and I'm actually moving between 2 keys. Very nice. But anyways, trying to think of an example. There was definitely an example in this video where I could see the quality just drop. Or maybe I'm thinking of a different video. Actually, I am thinking of a different video. A moment. Right, this is going to be a bit weird because I'm going to have commentary there, aren't I? Let's keep the volume down a bit. And you just like, look at that. This was with the Scart as well. Shadow Memories, quite a few years back. I remember seeing a moment somewhere around after I exit the room. I notice something I usually see. Like that. You saw that, did you? Maybe? Go back. Oh, wait, no. Go back, I meant. Did he go back? Yeah, you saw that, right? His animation looked a bit off when he walked. I feel like that's probably due to the limitations of my Scart that caused that. That's probably frames per second related, I assume. It's like, depending on what game it is, depends on how demanding a game is, can make or break how a game looks. And you know what I gotta say? Let's actually have a look briefly. See, the characters, they look alright, you know? Scart looks alright. It's just like, just when they move fast and when there's a lot going on in the background, it just gets fucking mental a bit, you know? And blurs the fuck. Like, look at that. That's just ugly. And so is that. And that. Look, that's what I mean. It's just like, look at that. He's like a ghost, man. The movements just look really off and shit. But the quality, like, other than that, it's just like the only things that really bug me is when shit like that happens on the blur. That's the only things that really bug me about my Scart. That and, you know, it being a pain in the ass, not working sometimes, you know. But I kind of used to that, so I'm sticking with it for now. I don't know when I'll actually get around to any recording at all. Hopefully in the next few days I'll get some recording done. How over time here? How long have I been doing this? 45 minutes. I knew it was going to be a long video. So, like, I'll be back when I'll be back, I guess. It's like, I need recording for one thing, you know. And that's another thing, you know. Just like, hell, we might as well, like, see, just like, I don't check the video quality on YouTube. So, like, when it's uploaded to YouTube, the quality probably automatically drops a little anyway, you know. So, let's, like, see how the, I mean, like, look at this thumbnail. It's like, the caveman guy, he looks alright, but you can see the blur around Spyro, and it bugs me. It's the most noticeable one I've ever seen. It's just like, ugh. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Welcome back to Let's Play Spider 2. Honestly, it doesn't really look too bad. Maybe, I don't know. It's like you can go up to 720 here. So, you know, it's got that. It's just frames per second and a bit of a blur. It's like I was kind of comparing it to another YouTuber that I tend to watch, Zeta Plays. And his videos in the past could only go up to 400 something. He's been doing these videos since, I think, 2008. I remember watching him since 2009, on and off, you know. But his ones also have 60 after it, so I assume that's for frames per second. And, you know, I've mentioned Zeta Plays occasionally in my videos, and it's just hard to describe his channel. It's like he essentially Let's Plays Super Nintendo, Genesis, and NES games. And, well, it's let me just like, I don't like using other people's videos, but just so I can show you what the hell I mean when I talk about him, because I'm just like, he's got this thing called the wheel of crap that randomizes what game he's gonna play. So you see that? That's the wheel of crap. It used to look very different. See it? It chooses a game randomly. Number. Sometimes lands on free pick and he hates it. See it? And then whatever number in his folder it lands on, because he's got most ROMs for Super Nintendo, NES, and Genesis. Whatever game it lands on, he plays it. That's how it goes. And if it lands on requests or free pick, it's just like self-explanatory, really, there. So, yeah, he's got an interesting thing there, you know. It used to not actually be a wheel, I remember, in his earlier days. But it's a full-on wheel with mascots now, so it's pimped out, that is. Much better quality than mine. Anyways, where was I? Yes. We're near in 50 minutes. If it was with a capture card, that'd be a bad thing. Also, another thing is just like, going back to the subscriber I talked to on Steam. Just like, I noticed it, but I never really had any real, like, confirmation on it. But my version of Camtasia is apparently shit. So I should really upgrade, you know, Camtasia, because, yeah, that probably explains a lot, really, isn't it? It's a fairly old version of Camtasia by, like, how it is now, I'd imagine. I've had this version of Camtasia for years now. Just like, and I don't even think the updating of it is even free. It's probably like, no. And of it the money is if you want the newer version. But whatever. I'm just gonna stick with what I know. Also, in the suggestions here on our channel, Vidiots! Subscribe to them. They do a series called Worst Games Ever. As you can see there, they just play these games, and it's hilarious. Sometimes it can like be a bit of a fart, but most times it's pretty amusing stuff. They do other things as well, but that's the main appeal of their channel to me. But anyways, random plug aside to a channel that's got shit ton more subscribers than me, and also, it's just like I've been meaning to say this as well. I think I might have said it to in some extent, but you know, when I started, you know, making videos here, I did not have things in mind such as fame or money. I don't monetize my videos. I don't want to set up a Patreon or anything like that. I just want to, you know, just make videos and hope people enjoy them. That's kind of the whole thing. It's a very time-consuming hobby, which is spanned a couple of years now, which is why I've always thought, when will I eventually retire? Because it's been years now, and the passage of time just makes me realize it's just like, wow, time. Which is why I've kind of slowed down over the years with the uploading. Like in the first year I started uploading, I'd upload like 3-4 videos a day. Nowadays, my schedule is 1 video a day. It's like 1 video on this channel, 1 video on my other channel, then 1 video on my this channel, 1 video on my other channel. I might even just like even change it even further than that. But if that happens, I feel like I need to really focus on games that aren't super lengthy like fucking Final Fantasy X, because it takes years with my current schedule to get anywhere with it. But yeah, I hope you understand like all what the fuck I was just talking about through a lot of this video, and yeah, I'll be back when I'll be back. The quality will remain the same, because yeah, change. It's like, hopefully somewhere down the line I'll figure out how to get the other capture card that was sent in working, because I think that would be useful to use for, say, like my PS3 for example, because I feel like for my PS2 and my GameCube, my current capture card works for, like, the quality for the PS2 kind of like varies a lot more than with the GameCube because of the style, I feel. But you know, it's easier to set up because, you know, AV cables, they don't have the HDMI. The PS3 does, you know. It's more recent console things, so it's a bit more of a pain in the ass setup, so I don't know what I'll do with that. And it's just like, for now, for the time being, I just want to get back on schedule at some point. Same old shit, just focus on that. That's kind of what I've, you know, feel like I have to do for my own sanity. So yeah, hope you understand. And yeah, this is a long ass video, and I wonder if anyone would even watch it, because not many people watch my videos. That's like a contradiction, really, isn't it? It's just like, I always complain, it's like, oh, nobody views my videos, nobody comments, nobody likes, nobody subscribes. It's just limbo, man. It's just fucking limbo. I felt like I was in fucking limbo after that breakdown, but it just feels like limbo going back to the freaking topic at hand here. But, you know, at the same time, I don't really want fame at all. Fuck fame, I got social anxiety. Fuck that shit. It's like, this channel right here, man, they have a show called Awesome Tat, where, like, loads of their subscribers send in random shit. Like, they send in some shit games, some candies, some random shit. They get some random stuff, some arts and crafts stuff. Get all kinds of stuff. Like, done 30 episodes of that because they get so many parcels from subscribers, fans, you know, all that shit. I don't want to be like that, you know, essentially. I don't want that kind of fame. I just want to just make videos and hope people enjoy them, or watch them in general, and hopefully enjoy them. Because, you know, over the years it's kind of been a mixed bag, really, hasn't it? Some people enjoy my videos, some people don't, but that's life. But it can be really right down the middle. Like my Echo the Dolphin LP, parts of that are literally split down the middle. You have like 14 likes and 14 dislikes. That's right down the middle kind of shit, man. But anyways, hope you understand. I'll be back when I'll be back. This has been a long ass motherfucking update, and I felt like it was long overdue, and I finally could get this shit off my chest and get back to normal, hopefully. Fuck. That was a lot to, you know, talk about. It's like the first 30 minutes was talking about the whole reason I was on a break and the breakdown I had, and then the rest of it, it's just a bunch of varying amounts of rambling, which to me feels like a good thing, you know? It feels like I'm returning slowly back to my old self, because that's what I do. I ramble a lot, so it feels more like myself a bit. The anxiety and depression still lingers, but hopefully get back on track, get some recording done. I can put in 5 Minutes of Town on hold indefinitely until I complete the whole thing, and I'm not sure how I'll do the October LPs. I might even do this, where I just like record for them, and not see it as an October special thing, but just like, okay, these LPs are joined in the lineup randomly, and maybe get a bit more attention than the other ones or some shit. I don't know. It depends how I go about recording, because every year I go through it, it stresses me out getting it recording in time, and we're halfway through September, like I said, and I haven't got any recording done. So yeah, it's 3 fucking games, so it's stressful just thinking about it. So yeah, just like no promises on that, essentially. Anyways, this has been updates, almost an hour long, typical, and yeah, load off my mind, that's all. See you when I see you.